Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast My Hormones Make Me a Nutcase. We are here.
Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I was like, I'm in an iron whether I say it there or not, but we roll.
I know.
I did.
I was like, do I pause? Does she say hello? Do we
I also
go?
had a mouthful of water, so I was a bit like, shit, hurry up and swallow that water. Say something. Anyway.
So, today we're going to be talking all about fats, and not the fat in your body, but the macronutrient fat, the food fats. Do you know, I think this is one of the things actually that a lot of women like don't really know much about. Like I feel like
Mm,
there's a lot of hype about protein, carbohydrates are always demonized, like we spoke about. Um, Obviously it's vegetables and your fruit, etc. But I feel like fats people don't tend to really know much about. And also when I start working with people, that's often one thing that people don't have very much of, apart from like olive oils and stuff, but or oils. There's people don't tend to have huge amounts of it.
yeah, I also think it's another one people are scared of because the word fat,
Yes,
I
that's
think just in
very
itself
true.
is like, oh, if I eat fat, am I gonna get fat? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like, yeah, people are a bit more scared of it. I suppose like And there's so much to it, isn't there? There's so many different types of fat that like it could also be confusing.
Yeah.
Like which one should I have? What one shouldn't I have? Like, so yeah, I get what you mean. Like at the moment, the protein is the hype.
Mm.
Carbs are the bad things. Fats are also labeled as bad, even though they're not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they definitely don't get talked about as much in a good light.
No. Well, we're going to be going through all about fats today, some positive things about them, why you actually do need them to function really well, and what are some myths about them, and some practical tips to kind of take away and start implementing into your daily life as well. So, I suppose to start with, like I said, one of the fats are one of the three main macronutrients, along with carbohydrates and protein. It is the most energy dense macronutrients and it's found in both animal and plant foods.
Yeah, so when we talk about it being one of the most energy dense macronutrients, when you're looking at your proteins, carbs, and fats, it's 9 calories per gram for your fats. So that's why we have to be a bit more careful about how much we have because it's
Yeah.
easy to go over your calories if you have loads of it in your diet. But obviously, it's still something we need in there. Whereas your carbs are 4 grams and protein is 4 grams.
I can't remember off the top of my head, I'm not gonna lie.
Carbs are definitely four, but for whatever reason, protein escapes my brain. I'm sure it was 449 per gram. Let me check. Okay, keep checking. Keep checking. Why did it not come up when I just typed that in? Oh yeah, I was right. Okay, cool. Thank God for that. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, so they're more calorie dense per gram effectively. So that's why you have to be more mindful of them. And I think a good way to think about it is, like I always say with like using your hands as a portion control, think about it as like a thumb's worth per meal, which is I always think of it like a teaspoon per meal, roughly. Again, person to person might vary a little bit, but as long as you're having like a little bit per meal, you're pretty good.
Yeah, and you can measure a teaspoon by the tip of your index finger. I never knew that. Learned that the
Oh,
other
I didn't
day.
know that. That's
I
interesting.
was like, oh, that's a teaspoon. All right. But yeah, thumbs worth.
Well, maybe more than teaspoon then, maybe like a couple of teaspoons then, because
Yeah.
you can definitely get a couple of those in your thumb, can't you?
Oh yeah, because if you bend this finger down, like that's to like my knuckle. So that's definitely, I reckon that's definitely two. Not that anyone can see me doing this, by the way, that looks a bit weird, but yeah, I reckon it's two. Yeah,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
measuring technique there.
So the functions of fat in the body. So it's used for energy storage and fuel. A really important one, especially for women, used for hormone production. For example, testosterone and estrogen. It supports your brain function, helps absorb fat-soluble vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, and K. Helps with cell membrane structure, insulation and organ protection, and satiety, so keeps you full longer. So, as you can hear, it's literally so important for so many things.
Yeah, and like you say, these things never really get advertised, do they? Not that we should be advertising, but do you know what I mean? Like no one ever really talks about them.
No,
Um, you don't see a lot of content out there with people going, "Oh, you should eat fat." Maybe that'll be the next hype.
maybe, maybe.
It might be.
I've
But
seen
yeah,
like a couple of, have I? I've seen
we've had
people,
fiber and we've had protein, but
yeah.
fats? Mm.
I think sometimes people talk more about fiber, but then there can be a little bit of a crossover,
Mm.
like flax seeds and chia seeds and things like that. Um, but yeah, not a lot of people I'm seeing do focus a lot on the healthy fat side.
Yeah, well, maybe they should. Anyway, so yeah, with in terms of like hormone production with your testosterone and estrogen, we obviously did a podcast on like testosterone and stuff, but fats are required to produce a steroid hormone, which is linked with your testosterone and estrogen. And without those hormones, you're going to suffer with like low libido, fatigue, mood changes. So it's such an important thing to be having enough of.
Hmm.
Um, I suppose we say this about a lot of stuff. It's all about balance, isn't it? If you don't have a lot of, if you've got something that's really down low, like you're gonna struggle somewhere. It's getting a balance, isn't it? And we both know how difficult that is, like getting a balance of everything all the time.
Mm.
So it's about that 80/20, isn't it? Rather than having to try and strive for that perfect every time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, low fat can reduce leptin levels, which then increase hunger signals. Again, similar to protein.
Hmm.
So if you don't have enough of it, it will do that, and then it will create overeating again. And then, like you said, with the needing fat to absorb fat solubles like vitamins. So if you don't have enough fat in your diet, things like vitamin A, D, E, and K, you're just not going to absorb enough of it. And so many people are low in vitamin D as it is. So if you're also not doing that, then you're going to come across problems like hair loss, um, dry skin, tiredness, fatigue, again, all of those things as well.
Hmm.
And having a low fat diet can also, if it's too low all the time, can also cause you problems like amenorrhea, like or irregular cycles, because you need that fat to help your hormones, like we said. Yeah, and cholesterol is linked with cholesterol, and if you have too much cholesterol, it's bad for you. If you don't have enough of it, then you're not gonna produce enough cortisol, and cortisol can be good for you because you
Yeah.
need it to get up in the morning. Like obviously
Yeah.
cortisol has a bad rap, but if you don't have any of it, you're going to get poor sleep, anxiety, you're going to be stressed, and you're not going to want to get up and do anything.
Yeah. There's again, it's a balance with cortisol, isn't it? Too much cortisol and your nervous system's going to be dysregulated. You're going to be just feeling awful. But yeah, like you say, not enough, and you can have problems. So
Again,
it's the
all
same with
about balance.
everything. Yeah. If you are too low in certain vitamins, then you're going to be struggling. If you're too high in them, yeah, it is tough. It is really tough.
It is. And it's also tough. Like we were just having a chat before this, like in terms of like you don't know unless you have a blood test and you get regular blood tests or you find it easy to get a blood test, which we know is not easy to do. Like you don't know why you're feeling tired. There's only a
No.
certain amount of things that you can do. You can look at are you exercising? If you're not doing any exercise, maybe you do need to move because that can make you tired if you don't do any. Maybe it is your food. Maybe you're eating too much high processed foods
Hmm.
or you're not eating enough or you're overeating. So maybe you need to do less or more in that department. That could be why you're fatigued. But also, if you're doing all these things and you're active and you're eating well, then maybe it is a hormone issue or you need a blood test to find out what your bloods are. And again, like I said, it's so difficult to try and get a blood test. And when you do get your results back, it will probably say, oh, you're normal. But actually, you might be in the normal range, but doesn't mean that's normal for you and you shouldn't be having more of something. So
Yeah.
unless you have your levels as well, sometimes it's really difficult to see if you are doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, like, I was really lucky because because I'd spoken to you on the form that I filled out, I was just like, I'm feeling really tired, really fatigued, not been feeling 100%, not been sleeping great, blah, 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 blah. And then literally they called me within an hour and said, oh, we've got an appointment this morning. We'll come, we'll take your bloods. So I was like,
Jesus. Holy shit,
yeah.
I'm coming.
I was like, yep, okay, I'll be there. Did my bloods, and I was like, so what are you actually taking? And the nurse was a bit like, oh, I don't know. People, it sounded like people don't tend to ask her that. I don't know. It was really strange. And she was like, oh, so we take this, 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 and this. And I was like, okay. And she was like, we'll call you if there's any problems. And I was like, okay, fine. And then they came back within like 2 days, I think. So it was pretty quick. But yeah,
Mm,
then we were talking and all of them, I think there was one satisfactory, which I cannot remember what it was now, but all of them were normal. But like you were saying, just because it says normal doesn't mean it's optimal. When you research into it more, it's true. Like you're not, the NHS only obviously have capacity to deal with people that are really low and really deficient. And as long as you're like surviving, not thriving, then
yeah.
they're like, yeah, you're surviving, you're not awful, you'll be fine. Like they got to have a range, I suppose, haven't they? And being a free service, it is what it is. Whereas I suppose if you probably went private, you would probably get a lot more information on actually you need more of this and blah blah blah. Um, but yeah, so there's a few things that came back. A few things. It was iron, ferritin, and also B12, which was interesting. But yeah, like you say, completely normal on there, but actually not optimal.
Mm, absolutely.
But
And
yeah,
we need optimal to function.
yeah, well that's it. Don't we do need optimal? Like if we're feeling tired and sluggish and like you say, we're doing all the things right, or we think we're doing all the things right as much as possible. Like obviously we can't be perfect all day every day, but and things still aren't right, then there obviously is something going on, isn't there?
Mm, absolutely. Yeah. So it's always good to know because then at least you can try and have a look at all the other things around you and see what you can adjust. Like you were
Yeah,
saying with your iron, okay, maybe I need to get some more red meat into my diet and stuff like that. So it gives you that like baseline of okay, maybe I need to work on this a little bit more. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Anyway.
think that's just one thing to remember. Like if you do get your bloods taken, do look into it a little bit more. And I know you shouldn't be using like Chat GPT as like a doctor, but actually it was quite helpful putting it in there because it does tell you what is optimal and what's not, and if you are a little bit low. So just double check that if you're unsure. And if the doctor says you're normal, just double check it because you might not be.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's way more doctors on Instagram and stuff now. So you can always look at some of their profiles and message some of them and stuff like that too, because that's what I always do. I always look at like loads of different doctors' profiles and things like that.
Yeah,
Um, which are like super interesting. Um, so yeah, it's worth having a look at those things too.
yeah, definitely. Anyway, back to fats. So, different types of fats. So, you've got unsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, and those are found in olive oils, avocado, nuts. Then you've got polyunsaturated fats, which include things like omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. You've got saturated fats, which are found in butter, cheese, red meat, and coconut oil. So, yeah, I suppose.
And trans fats.
Oh, did I miss that one? Oh, trans fats. Yeah. But yeah, controversial, not as bad as once thought, but still be moderated. Was that about saturated fats?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so again, they're ones that you don't want to be eating all day, every day. Things like your butter, your cheese, your red meat, your coconut oil, things like that. But again, having those in moderation. Um, whereas having more like your olive oils, avocado, your nuts, they're kind of, and your omega-3s and your omega-6s are like ones to have more of.
Yeah, and if you're not sure, if you start just being a bit more mindful of what you're eating and write down the things that you're eating, because it's easier, like you don't necessarily have to straight away look at your portion control, but maybe what it's worth looking at what types of food you're having
Hmm.
for the week. So like I was looking at a client's food diary the other week and I said to her, I was like, okay, so and I wrote down to her what she'd eaten for the day and I was like, what do we think we need to just adjust here slightly? Because there was like condensed milk and some other cream in the morning. Then for breakfast, she had yogurt, and then later on she had feta, mozzarella. There was another type of cheese, cream cheese, and then there was something else and something else that was all that kind of like dairy, high fat esque
Mm,
type of thing. And I said, it's fine to have this stuff in your diet, maybe just not all on one day. Let's spread it out. Let's not have four types of cheese in one day. Let's
yeah.
just pick one. And then she's like, oh yeah. Like as soon as I mentioned it, she was like, oh, I didn't realize. I was like, but it's good to look at your food diaries when you do it to see what you're having more of or what you can incorporate less of or
Yeah.
where you can spread it throughout the week. And again, like with things like your red meat, yes, they're high in fat, saturated fats and stuff, but they are good to have in your diet like
Yeah.
once a week, maybe, or once every 2 weeks, or whatever works for you, because they are higher in iron and things like that. And we need that in our bodies to function properly.
That's it. And like, oily fish, like, was it sardines, salmon, things like that, they're good to have again, but like aim for those like twice a week. Um, so yeah, you don't have to be having these things every single day. Some things you do need more of, and some things you need to have, yeah, less of, like all the cheeses. We don't need all the cheeses in one day.
Absolutely. And then you saying about that, we have like different diets, don't we? And like actually the Mediterranean diet, that is high in healthy fats.
Yeah.
And people survive until like I think there's one village in like America or something. I remember watching it on a TV program, and they're all like Cypriots in this American town or whatever it is, but they're all like 100 odd years old because they
Wow.
eat a Mediterranean diet. And like you say, that has got more fishes, olive oil, and things like that in it. So they are higher in healthier fats, compared to the Western diet, which is obviously higher in unhealthier diet, and oh, fudge, unhealthier fats, i.e., like your pizzas, your cakes, your pastries, and stuff like that. So yeah, it is good to look at what someone on a Mediterranean diet does because it is good for your bones and joints and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Have more olive oil, have more nuts, have more seeds, have more yeah, oily fish, have more eggs. The egg yolk is a healthy fat in the egg. So have
Oh
more
my
of
God.
those. Um
Yes,
and
here
less
for that.
of the
I will be
cakes.
an egg
Yeah.
one day. I eat so many of them. Oh my God. Anyway.
But yeah, that's all the fats to be having, rather than, yeah, like you say, the cakes and the pastries and all that jazz.
All that jazz indeed. Absolutely. Yeah, because like things like yeah, and omega feet. Oh no, this whole week I've been like this. Oh, I said something to someone the other day. I was like, oh, top, top, top. And I just looked at her and she looked at me and I went, no, I didn't mean that. I meant to say on top of that or something. And it just came out as top, top, top. She just looked at me like, I was like, cool. Anyway, yeah. Omega-3 also acts as like an anti-inflammatory, which is really good for you and like your bones and muscles and all of that as well. Really good to have in like I don't know, I know you do it, but I give my dad, oh dog, salmon oil because it's really good
Yes.
for his skin,
Yeah.
his coat. Like, because he will lose his fur otherwise, he ends up being really patchy without it. So it's really good for his fur, and it's really good for his joints. Like, he moves a lot better when he's had his like has had it in his diet for a long
Yeah,
period of time. So having your omega-3s are really good for your anti-inflammatory um
definitely.
stuff. And like you say, you can get them from things like flax seeds and nuts and things like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love putting salmon oil on Fred's food, and also I give him sardines. He loves sardines as well, so I buy a tin
Oh yeah.
and pop one of those on every now and then, maybe like once every couple of weeks, um,
Hmm.
just for mixing it up. Do you know what? I'll always look at sardines in a tin and I think, hmm, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But I watched Emily English,
Mm.
the nutritionist, and she did a really nice recipe. And she was like, put it into like the tomato sauce, and like they basically just all broke up so you couldn't see the sardine. She was like, you can't even taste it. And I was like, do I give that a try? Do I not?
Yeah, it's similar to like do you ever eat like pilchards?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, be similar to that because they come into my. Oh, I love a pilchard
Do
out
you?
the thing.
Was
Yeah,
it
in the
really
tomato
fishy?
sauce.
Was it all right?
It's quite fishy. Is it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll buy a can of pilchards one time and you can try a bit because then it won't go to waste because I'll eat it.
Yeah. I could, yeah, we'll see. It's just, I don't know, the look of them just puts me off as well. But
I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's got its face and stuff, isn't it? So,
yeah, you don't cut it
mm.
off though, do you? In the that from the tin, you just,
I mean, I don't think I've ever eaten a sardine in my life, so probably not.
um,
I suppose it's the same as like herons and stuff like that. The only thing, my granddad used to have them all the time, and I tried them as a kid, and they're fine, but they repeat on me, and that's what I cannot stand is when things repeat on you. Anything that repeats, I'm like, no, no, thank you.
ugh.
Tasting
Especially if
fish all
it's
day.
fishy. Ugh. Oh
Yeah,
no.
no, no,
Anyway.
thank you.
Ugh, ugh, ugh. Oh, right, fats and heart health. So, unsaturated fats improve your cholesterol levels. Saturated fats raise your LDL. Trans fats increase heart disease risk. Um, yeah, so that's one thing to be mindful of. So when we say the unsaturated, um, yeah, no, I've lost my train of thought.
You did a breathwork class before this, so like brain is like done. Yeah. Yeah, you've got like all different fats there, haven't you, with different things like say your trans fats, your cookies and all that are going to increase your heart disease risk. Because the buildup of like the fats around your arteries and things like that, and you don't want to go down that route. Like we say, that's why we do like a balance of things.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, yeah, they're the ones to look out for the most and make sure that you don't have them in your diet as much as all the other ones. The other ones do other things, and if you're having a balance of them, you're not gonna have heart disease risks, basically, is what you need to know.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So fats and fitness. So they do. So fuel source during low intensity. So fat basically fuels you during low intensity exercise. It's important for hormone optimization, which we were talking about before. Um, Two, lower fat intake, like we say, hormonal issues, and poor recovery as well. Um, yeah, so it's not going to be for your things like crazy high intensity things, but it's definitely you definitely still need to have it doing things like your walking, stuff like that. It's going to be used for.
Absolutely. And like things like in the morning, like breakfast and stuff, if you can prioritize your proteins and fats, that's really going to help you. Like use fats as like you get up and go
Hmm.
kind of thing. And then obviously you need carbs as your fuel source as well. But carbs are really good like in the evening, depending on the types of carbs, because they help you sleep better. So yeah, if you need like I would say prioritize in the morning your proteins and fats. So you've got you get up and go. Have the carbs in there as well, just not as much.
Yeah,
And then later on in the evening, have more of your carbs because they'll help you sleep and stuff like that.
which is interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to eat carbs at dinner time because I don't need to be energized throughout the night. I've got
Mm,
quite a few people that say that.
yeah. When actually it's not just about energy, it's about sleep too and having good recovery. And because I think I said it on the last one, we were talking about carbs, like especially if you're doing exercise in the evenings or if you're an athlete of what some sort, you need the carbs to recover properly. If you
Yeah,
have less carbs, then your body's not going to recover. Then the next time you go into a training session, you're going to be ruined. You're not going to be able to do as much. You won't be able to push as far. Whereas if you top up your carbs after you've done that, you're going to have enough to then get you through your next session and keep going. Especially because
absolutely.
I know a lot of people like doing HIIT workouts and they might do that, especially with the high rocks and CrossFit hypes and all of that. You might be training to a high intensity for like 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Mm,
You need your carbs to be energized for the rest of that week. Otherwise, you will be dragging your feet.
definitely. And it's not just about having protein for recovery, it is about having the carbohydrates as well, like you say.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time people are like, oh yeah, we'll just eat my protein, that's going to help. But No, need your
No,
carbohydrates. Need your carbohydrates
100%.
as well. So some healthy fat food sources, which we've covered a little bit already. But like your whole foods, your avocado, your nuts, your seeds, your olive oil, your fatty fish like your salmon, your mackerel, um, kind of like we were saying with Mediterranean diet, all of those things are really, really good. Um, and then obviously less ideal is the highly processed food, like your fried foods, your cakes, all of that kind of stuff that we were talking about. So yeah, just aim for more of those. Generally, like how much we should eat is 20 to 35% of daily calories from fat, effectively. Um, but yeah, kind of like I was saying, having your thumb's worth with each meal, roughly, rather than if you don't want to work out your complete macro split, which everyday life people don't really need to do that. Just think about having a little bit in with each meal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. If you really want to look at your macros and do all of them, that's fine. With my clients, I tend to just do protein and calories, just because otherwise, if you start
Yeah.
doing all three, it becomes way complicated, and not everyone needs to do that. But like you say, for ease, measure it by your thumb,
Yeah,
roughly.
exactly. Like only if you're actually like a proper athlete do you really need to be measuring all your macro split like that. Like general day-to-day person, you don't need to be doing that. But yeah, think about
And I
it.
mean, to be fair, I mean, I'm not an athlete, but I am an athlete of some sort.
Well,
Play
you are.
football.
You play football.
But I don't even do my split like that. Like I would never look at that. I look at how much
No,
carbs I have, but I don't look specifically like I need this. I just look at my protein each day and go, okay, cool, I've hit over 100. I'm more towards 150. As long as I'm around that mark, cool, I'm good. Like I don't go, oh, I need it to the nearest gram or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah, if I don't need it, you don't need it.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. If you have an app that does it, then you can definitely go for it. But yeah, it's not essential.
No, especially if it stresses you out and stuff. If it doesn't and you're happy doing it, then crack on. But
Yeah,
like, if it's adding an extra thing to all these 20, 100 plates that you're trying to spend, like, don't do it.
don't do it. Exactly, exactly. So, common myths about fat. So, fat makes you fat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we started off with, right? Fat makes
Yeah.
you fat. No, no,
No,
it doesn't.
I think it's difficult as well because there's so many things in the supermarkets that are like labeled as low fat or um I've lost the word. No fat, effectively.
Hmm. Yeah,
And then it gets confusing, doesn't it? Because then you think, oh, well, it's always better to get no fat. But actually,
not
it's really
always.
difficult because if you are someone that's looking to lose body fat, then yes, sometimes going for the lower fat option can be better because you are lowering calories if you're, obviously tracking your calories and things. But in some respects, for your actual health wise, you're better off going for full fat versions of things, full fat yogurts, full fat milk, etc. That's actually better for your body, but you just need to have less of those. Like you could have more of your 0% fat Greek yogurt because the calories are going to be lower, but actually for your health wise, you're better off getting full fat. So it's a difficult one. Like maybe if you're in a fat loss stage, you go for slightly lower fat in certain things. And then you can, once you're in maintenance, you can go up, have full fat stuff potentially. Or as long as you're including fats in other ways. So if you're having 0% Greek yogurt, as long as you're having some olive oil in there and some nuts and things like that, so you're getting some fats, then that's okay. But yeah, don't always think that low fat products are better for you than full fat products because
Yeah,
they're not.
they're not always, are they? Sometimes, because yeah, when you look at the labels on like low fat products, you tend to find like, okay, they might be lower in fat, but what are they hiring? Are they hiring carbs? Are they hiring sugar? Are they hiring all the other things in there? And especially if they've gone higher in sugar because they've lowered the fat, like that, like you say, not necessarily better for you.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of your health, you
Mhm.
might find like the one with more fat in actually has less sugar, less carbs and stuff, and actually is going to be better for you. So it
Yeah.
is definitely worth looking at because the amount of times like I don't very often get low fat stuff
Yeah. Absolutely.
just because of that reason. When you are looking at your food labels though, look out for things that say like hydrogenated oils, and stuff, because that is a trans fat. That would be something that you don't really want too much of in your diet.
Mhm.
Um, Especially when you're looking at your highly processed foods. But yeah, definitely look at food labels. Like once you start looking at food labels, those little things can make a massive difference to your, I suppose, weight loss journey if you're going on one of them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another one is there's the big hype, isn't there, about that low calorie spray. Now I don't use that. I use actual olive oil. But often those things have extra like things put in them, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I had one of the low calorie sprays because I like the way you only use like a bit of it. So what I do
Yeah,
once that one once I'd got rid of the stuff that was actually in that, I now just fill it up with olive oil.
that's a good idea.
So I'm not over pouring because it's so easy to
Yeah,
over
so
pour
easy.
like olive oil out, and then you're like, oh, why am I not losing fat or weight or whatever? And that's because you're actually using a shit ton of olive oil.
Yeah,
Like it's good to have a small amount. So yeah, I fill the bottle up and put olive oil in it.
yeah. And there was one, I think it was in Tesco, where it was actually just like a spray bottle of literally just olive oil.
Oh,
So
that's handy. Yeah.
yeah, if you are, I actually have like a glass bottle with like a really small little metal end. So when I
Mm.
pour it out, like it's, I can see how much is going in. It's not loads. I quite like that. But yeah, all the spray bottle and things like that always, yeah, work well.
Yeah. Definitely better to use your like olive oil and stuff rather than the 1 calorie spray things. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you need a spray bottle, then just use it for a bit and then just top it up with olive oil.
Yeah, I like that. That's
I
definitely. What should we talk about next?
think we just need to like cover the fact that your fats are also linked to like things like your memory. I mean, I think I obviously need more fats in my diet because my memory is absolutely terrible. But it does have a role in preventing cognitive decline. And yeah, so I think we just need to be aware that we need to get more things in like that for that reason. Because otherwise, like being you, my brain is about to go, and I don't know what I was going to carry on with saying any more than that. So yeah, it's good for your memory. Eat
Good for
more
your
fat.
memory, eat more fats. Exactly that. I think it's just overall, it is just knowing that fats are not bad. Like carbohydrates are demonized, fats are also demonized. They are not bad. But you need to have some fats of all the positive things we've said that they can do. Yes, we need more of some, and yes, we need less of others. Look for those
Mhm.
whole food ones. They're always going to be the better options for you. And yeah, don't be scared to add little bits into your diet. I mean, sometimes people have like nuts. They go for like a huge handful, and I'm like, okay, whoa. I'm all about having the nuts, but you don't need to have handfuls of them. And also they're so easy to eat as well, right? So like you could have them on the side of your desk, for example, as a little snack. Before you know it, you've finished half of the packet of them because you're just like, oh, I'll have another one, I'll have another one. Like that is what's going to potentially hinder your weight loss if that's what you're trying to do. So like portion it out. Like I know it sounds really nitpicky, but if you are trying to lose weight, like portion out like 10 to 15, depending on the size of what they are. And get like a nice variety of them as well. Like people always say to me, which nuts are better? I'm like, just have a variety because then you'll get different things from different ones. So if you
Mm.
do like a variety, have cashews, have almonds, obviously go for ones that aren't like honey roasted or covered
Roasted,
in
yeah.
salt and things like that because they're going to be
Mm.
high in sugars and stuff. But just get the plain ones and just have a nice mixture. Like you can get mixture from all the supermarkets, can't you? A bag of mixtured ones. And yeah, just
Yeah,
portion them out and have those as a little snack.
absolutely. Yeah, I had this conversation with one of my clients actually today. She was like, yeah, but when I start snacking, I can't stop. And I was like, right, you're going to work, aren't you? Rather than being at home. She's like, yeah. I was like, right, portion it. Don't just take a whole big bag of nuts with you because yeah, I can see why you sit in the car and eat for a whole bag of nuts if you're driving for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, have a portion of them. She's like, okay, yeah, actually, I probably should do that. So I'm gonna do that. I said, weigh them out. Just have like 20 grams or something. Like, know how many calories is in that just for you. Like, and then go by that. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So then I don't overeat. And once it's gone, it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
your brain will then go, oh, there's nothing left now. Okay, well, I'm done.
And for a few minutes, your body might be going, oh, I really want some more. And then because you can't have any more, it will then get distracted and then you'll forget about it and then you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
absolutely. There you go. So like you say, definitely portion them out. And you can add like I always put seeds on top of my kefir on my pancakes or my baked
Yeah,
oats in the morning because I like and I always get the mixed ones from like Lidl or whatever. And you
yeah,
got different ones in that. You've got your like pumpkin seeds. I don't actually know what else apart from that's in it, but there's definitely a different mix of seeds in there. But yeah, just sprinkle them on top and that will give you some extra fats in there.
yeah.
Mix up, nice mix up, but definitely worth doing.
Yeah, and like easy ones as well, like chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, like put those into yogurt. You can't even taste them. Or put them into
Mm,
smoothies if you like smoothies. Or if you have something for lunch, you can sprinkle some hemp seeds on the top, things like that, which is just so easy to incorporate more of. Um,
yeah. I always put them in my pancake batter or like if I make baked oats, I bang them in there as well because it's easy.
yeah.
And like you say, you don't taste them.
And flax seeds are actually contain polyphenols, which help to reduce inflammation, support your gut health, protect your cells from damage, support hormone balance as well, which is especially useful if you're over the age of 40. Um, so if you can get a little bit of those in each day, again, just like a teaspoon of those, that's gonna really, really help too. So yeah,
Yeah, they're also really good for like estrogen clearance. So like getting rid of like everything you've eaten, like clear it out so your estrogen doesn't like get stuck basically. Like so it they will help you go to the toilet more and things like that, which is really, really good because you need to not be constipated because
yeah.
that's not fun.
Hello.
Oh, the dog's here.
He's like, "Are you done yet? Have you
So come
finished
on.
talking about fat?" But yeah, I
Come
think
for his
that kind of
sardines.
he's come for sardines. I know it is last one last night actually, didn't you? I have to say some more. He did have some kefir because I know you give Bruno kefir, don't you? And I bought some kefir this week, and I was like, oh, I must start putting a
Yes.
little bit in his food. So I've done
Oh,
it this morning.
every night he has kefir. Like he'll have his dinner at like 5, and then if he's not had his kefir at 7 o'clock, he comes up, he starts pouring. He's like, "Come on!" So I have to put some in his bowl. I just like tip a little bit in there, and it's gone in minutes. And then he comes out with all this kefir and his gob, and I'm like, "Mate, you need to lick your chin." Anyway, he loves it, and it's so good for his gut. It's made it like
Yeah.
raw food is really good for him, but like I think the kefir has made a massive difference to his gut.
Mm. Yeah, so interesting, isn't it? Like Fred's gut seems to be okay, but yeah, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to give him a little dollop on top of his breakfast and dinner each day and see how
Yeah,
it
why
goes.
not?
Why not?
Yeah, something they like. Good for
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Cool. Well, yeah, I suppose we'll leave
Hmm.
it there for today. I feel like we've
Yeah.
covered everything. Have any questions? Please feel free to reach out to us on our socials. We've got our number, email address. Our email is fitgirlswhoeat93@gmail.com. Yes. So yeah,
It
please
is.
feel free to email us. We are going to be talk. We've got a few more topics coming up, so yeah, I hope you're excited.
Yeah. Woohoo. I am.
Woohoo! All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we're going to catch you in the next one.
We will indeed. See you later.
Bye.